Death row and cancer, 2 killers that couldn't take him out. Bullets flying, 10 loved ones gone before he even hit 40. And Boosie still stood tall. They tried to execute him for a charge he swore wasn't his, but the jury came back in just 36 minutes. That's how wild Boosie's story really is.
Man, I was gonna go to that motherfucking death row chair, a motherfucking hero. That's why I was gonna go to that motherfucking hero to all the real in the world.
This is the raw truth of Boosie's fate. He didn't just beat death row, he straight up stared it down and walked away. Most people face death once and never recover. But Torrance Ivy Hatch Jr., the man the streets call Boosie, has faced that darkness more times than he can count. It's like the whole universe been testing him nonstop. But this ain't just another tale about a rapper catching a few bad breaks. This is about a real survivor who went toe-to-toe with the state, fought off cancer, took bullets, buried more people than most will ever meet, and still kept going. Against every single odd, Boosie refused to fold. Boosie's still breathing. But to really get how deep his survival story runs, you gotta rewind to the moment that should have been the end.
Nah, they basically, when I went in there, I was just like, you know, I want my lawyer. You know, they would tell, we got you on 8 murders and all this shit. You know, I want my lawyer, period.
The murder trial that nearly had him wiped off the map and sent straight to death row. Back in October 2008, things took a sharp turn. Deputies in East Baton Rouge pulled him over and claimed they found Loud some other stuff and a gun in the ride. He ended up taking a plea for third offense possession, thinking it'd be a short bid, but that 4-year sentence turned into a storm after a few probation slips. But that was just the warm-up to the chaos that was coming. Then came October 21st, 2009, around 12:30 in the morning. 35-year-old Terry Boyd got hit inside his own crib, 6 shots ripping through the front window on Vermilion Drive in East Baton Rouge Parish. When cops showed up, Boyd was slumped on his brown leather couch. No forced entry, nothing stolen. Whoever did it came ready, handled business clean, and vanished like ghosts. But what made this hit shake the city even more was the connection.
Marlo Mike was sentenced to life without parole, right?
Yeah.
Did they talk about the tattoo?
Yeah.
In court? So apparently Mike has a tattoo that says, "Yo, Boosie, who next?"
Yeah.
And they used that in the courtroom?
Yeah.
Boyd wasn't just anybody. He was the brother of one of Boosie's baby mamas, and that link lit up every headline. Prosecutors locked onto that detail fast, and suddenly, Boosie wasn't just a rapper, they were painting him as the mastermind behind a cold-blooded hit. June 17th, 2010, everything changed for Boosie. A grand jury dropped a bomb on him, hitting him with first-degree murder charges. Prosecutors claimed he had put together a full-on murder-for-hire plot, saying he paid a 17-year-old named Michael Marlowe Mike Louding $2,800 to handle the hit. That's when the heat really turned up. Now, District Attorney Hiller Moore didn't sugarcoat a thing. He made it crystal clear that the death penalty was on the table. Boosie wasn't just fighting for freedom anymore. He was fighting for his life. They shipped him straight to Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola, one of the toughest, coldest max security prisons in the country, known for housing death row inmates.
I think they should have learned from me with that. Like, man, in my case, they played 2 days of straight music.
Yeah, I remember. You told me.
And I just feel like it shouldn't be done because, you know, it's a freedom of speech, you know.
For over 3 years, Boosie sat in a cell that was basically a living grave, locked down, isolated, facing the thought that he might never see daylight again. Every day was another battle just to hold on. The prosecution thought they had their case airtight, using Marlo Mike's recorded confession, phone records linking the young shooter to Boosie's studio, and the piece that had everyone talking, a tattoo on Marlo Mike's body that said, "Yo, Boosie, who's next?" Right beside an image of a chopper. That ink became the loudest piece of so-called evidence in the streets and in the courtroom, but the DA wasn't letting up, not even close. They decided to twist Boosie's own art into a weapon, turning his music into evidence. In court, they played his hardest tracks, songs like 187 and Body Bag, trying to convince the jury that his lyrics were real-life confessions instead of raw street storytelling.
I said, and it affects the jurors. Because my prosecutor I said this clear, I said, Marlo Mike up in the back seat begging for about it. And I saw the jurors' face. They was like, and it seemed like it affected it more than the pins on the towers and all that. And I was looking like, damn,
It was wild. You could feel the tension in the room. Boosie watched the jurors' faces as the prosecutor read his bars out loud, word for word, twisting his rhymes into proof of guilt. What was meant to be art was suddenly treated like a crime scene diary. The trial kicked off in May 2012 at the 19th Judicial District Court in Baton Rouge, and it was packed with energy. The prosecution came heavy. They brought nearly 30 witnesses, stacking what they thought was an unbreakable case. Every day felt like a movie scene, with Boosie sitting there calm but calculating, watching every move.
This was your close friend?
Yeah, this was my son. I was his guardian at school.
Wow.
I signed for him.
Then came the twist nobody saw coming. The moment that changed everything. When Marlo Mike hit the stand, he didn't fold. He didn't play games. He kept it 100. The whole courtroom leaned in, waiting to hear what he'd say next. When Marlo Mike took the stand, he flipped the whole script. He took back his original confession, saying some dirty cops had leaned on him hard, threatening him with the needle and spinning lies about people putting bounties on his head. The pressure had been real, and now he was finally telling the truth. He told the jury straight up, Boosie ain't have nothing to do with that body, but Boosie already knew this moment was coming. Months earlier from behind bars, Marlo Mike had sent him letters apologizing, explaining how fear had pushed him to lie, promising he'd fix it when the time came. And now, here it was, his chance to set it right in front of the whole court.
Did he take the stand at all?
He took the stand on me. For me though.
On your behalf?
Yeah.
Okay.
The defense came through strong too. They pointed out there was no DNA, no eyewitnesses, no solid proof, just weak connections and the word of a kid who had already switched his story. Boosie's lawyer told him not to take the stand, and it was a smart move. The case was hanging by a thread. The lawyer even said, man, if this was New Orleans, you wouldn't have even been indicted. But Baton Rouge, different game, different energy. Then came the final moment that had everybody holding their breath. After less than an hour, some say just 36 minutes, the jury came back with the verdict, not guilty. The courtroom went silent for a heartbeat, then the shock hit. Boosie had just walked away from death row free and alive.
I knew he was gonna take the stand probably 2 months after I got in jail. I knew he was gonna testify for me. He had already wrote me letters saying, you know, why he did it. He was fucked up, he's sorry. He would never catch the stand on me, you know. I already knew I was coming home.
Beating the murder charge didn't mean Boosie was free, not yet. He still had years left to serve on that drug sentence, and freedom didn't hit until March 5th, 2014, after spending a total of 5 long years locked down. Even after dodging death row, he had to grind his way through every day behind those walls. What's wild is how solid his mindset stayed through it all. Even when he was staring at the death penalty, Boosie never folded. He didn't cut deals, didn't drop names, didn't feed the feds info to save himself. Because turning on his people just wasn't in his DNA. That kind of loyalty is rare, and it showed exactly what kind of code he lived by.
Have even caught an indictment in New Orleans, but Baton Rouge was different.
He said, Boosie, you wouldn't even got indicted in New Orleans on this evidence.
Because it was Baton Rouge, it was different.
Yeah, it was, you know, he was like, you know, I had a unanimous verdict.
He could have easily flipped and had a lot of folks booked if he chose to play ball with the system, but that was never even an option for him. Boosie stayed true to the streets, standing firm on what he believed in. And when it comes to people who tell, Boosie's made it clear 1,000 times. His stance on snitching is dead serious, no cap. As for Marlo Mike, the young shooter who first lied but later came clean, his fate hit hard. He ended up convicted for the same body Boosie was accused of, plus life sentences for several other murders. When the truth about how deep his involvement really ran came out, even Boosie was shocked. The streets were buzzing. This wasn't just another case, it was a full-blown tragedy.
I mean, I got found guilty in 36 minutes. Not guilty in 36 minutes.
Oh, that's an open and shut case.
Yeah, that's open.
Out of the 9 lives lost in that whole mess, one of them hit Boosie on a level nobody else could understand. It wasn't just another name, it was somebody who meant everything to him. The emotional weight of that loss never really left him, even after the court set him free. Yeah, Boosie had beaten death row, but freedom came with a heavy cost. The pain, the memories, the constant wars inside and out. They tested his spirit in ways he never imagined.
I knew they ain't had shit on me, but you know, I'm staying silent. I wouldn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna go to that motherfucking death row chair, a motherfucking hero. That's why I was gonna go to that motherfucking a motherfucking hero to all the real niggas in the world.
From the trenches to the top, his whole journey was a battlefield. To really grasp how Boosie ended up facing the death penalty, you gotta know where he came from. Because the real miracle isn't just that he survived all those trials, it's that he survived long enough to even face them. Torrance Ivy Hatch Jr. was born November 14th, 1982, right in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one of the rawest, most dangerous areas in the country. Growing up on West Garfield Street wasn't just rough, it was a full-blown war zone. Every day was a fight just to stay alive, and Boosie learned early that survival was the only rule that mattered. The streets of South Baton Rouge were a whole different beast. The body count there was almost 3 times higher than Los Angeles. Yeah, 3 times.
So you basically could have gotten, what, dozens of people locked up?
Oh, for
if you
sure.
cooperated?
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But you know, because of that, that's why guys all around the country respect me too, though. And to me, you can't put no value on respect.
While outsiders saw LA as the symbol of gang life and chaos, Baton Rouge was on another level entirely. For the people living there, it wasn't a movie, it was just life. Boosie's mom, Connie Hatch, stood for everything right. She was a school principal, a woman who believed in books, structure, and a way out of the madness. His pops, though, brought another kind of energy.
Rats are selfish. Rats are selfish motherfuckers because when you rat, your kids will have to face this when they go to school. Especially when you're a big figure. You don't think about the people that's gonna with your family. All you think about is yourself as you getting out of jail. Rats are selfish. They don't think about they baby mama.
Torrance Hatch Sr. was respected in the hood, a real OG, a man who could build a house by day and handle street business by night. He was deep in the hustle, heavy in the trap, doing what he had to just to keep food on the table when nothing came easy. But life wasn't clean cut. His father was fighting addiction, and by Boosie's own words, sometimes that struggle turned violent at home. Boosie grew up watching his parents clash, caught between a mother trying to hold everything together and a father losing himself to his demons. That tension shaped him early. It taught him that love and pain could live under the same roof. Being one of 8 kids made everything harder. Money stayed tight, attention was spread thin, and every child had to learn fast how to fend for themselves. There wasn't room for weakness. Survival was the only rule. By the age of 10, while other kids were out riding bikes or playing video games, Boosie saw his first body drop right in front of him. That moment stamped him forever. It was the kind of lesson no classroom could teach. From then on, the streets became his reality, and innocence wasn't even an option.
Yeah, so you know guys like this growing up.
Yeah. Shit, my co-defendant killed 9 people.
He got convicted of that?
And admitted to it.
Wait.
He was 15.
While other kids were stressing over homework and recess, young Boosie was seeing real-life tragedy unfold. He literally watched someone lose their life right in front of him. That kind of trauma doesn't fade. It sticks to you, shaping every move you make after. On top of that, Boosie got hit with type 1 diabetes as a kid, forcing him to battle a health condition while already living in a war zone. But he found a spark of hope.
It's a sad situation, because, he on a murder charge for, killing my best friend too,
Bleak?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you don't talk to him. Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Basketball. The court became his escape from all the chaos. He had real skills too. People honestly believed he could make it to college, maybe even go pro and leave the streets behind, but life had a cruel twist waiting. When Boosie was just 13, tragedy hit again. His pops passed away. Stories about what happened are mixed. Some say a brain tumor, others blame the streets. Boosie himself has even said his dad got gunned down. No matter the cause, the outcome was the same. A boy lost the only father figure he had.
Matter of fact, he left me about this much, and when I got out the car, he left it to me. And bro, that first sip of that Sprite, man, that was everything to me. And after that, I started selling.
After his dad's death, Boosie moved in with his grandma, but the streets were already pulling him in deeper. He'd seen too much, grown up too fast, and the hustle started calling his name louder than any teacher or coach ever could. By the time he was 10, Boosie had already been riding his bike up and down the block, working lookout for the trap boys, getting paid $25 a day just to keep his eyes open and warn them when cops rolled through. That was his first job, and from there, the streets had him hooked. By the time Boosie hit his teens, he wasn't just watching the game, he was in it. He was the one alerting the plugs whenever 12 cruised through the block, always on point, always moving smart. But Boosie had something that made him stand out from every other young hustler out there: his voice. The way he spit bars hit different. His flow carried a pain and truth you couldn't fake, the kind that came straight from real-life scars.
I put my whole city on codeine. I had an operation of codeine. From Jackson, Mississippi to Mobile, Alabama. 24 years ago, man, I was moving heavy codeine. Every time you came to my house, I had a refrigerator, my own refrigerator full of codeine. You can't see nothing in it. I'm telling you the truth, lad. I'm not this no cap. Got sugar diabetes. And I'm filling my body with all this codeine.
Which is sugar.
With my sugar. So I was going to the hospital. They even had my own room, 535. No.
You actually named the room 535.
I had my own room at the lake of the lake, to where every time I went, they knew what room I would go to, all the way down the hall.
His cousin Young Bleed saw that spark early and connected him with a local rapper named C-Lock. That move changed everything. At just 14 years old, Boosie joined the concentration camp collective, becoming its youngest member, and from there, his rise started to build serious momentum. By 17, he dropped his debut tape, Youngest of the Camp, and it moved over 10,000 units independent. No big label, no radio push, just pure street demand. People couldn't get enough because Boosie's music wasn't polished industry talk. It was raw life, unfiltered, and real to the bone.
When Pimp C died, I was sipping more. They tell me Pimp died from codeine, I was like, shit. Yeah, I need another paint. I was sipping more. You know, I used to sip 2 paints of codeine, 32 ounces of codeine a day.
Then in 2001, Boosie linked up with Trill Entertainment, the label backed by the Southern legend Pimp C of UGK. That was a power move. His career started skyrocketing. Tapes moving, shows packed, and fans riding for him like never before. It looked like he had finally found his way out the mud. But the streets don't release people that easy, and neither do your inner demons. Around 19 or 20, Boosie got introduced to that drink, thinking it was just part of the lifestyle. What started off as casual sipping slowly turned into a full-blown addiction that nearly derailed everything he'd built. That first pour, it changed everything, bro.
I used to go to the hospital
And you
month.
could have
and
easily.
all I do when I come out,
you
say I quit.
You could have went out like Pimp C.
I used to say I quit. I quit. Everybody used to say I quit. As soon as I get mad, Vlad, I go back to. Nobody could tell me nothing.
Nobody could tell you. Well, no. And that's, I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem in and of itself.
Yeah, I was headed for destruction.
Yeah, you know, when you have nobody to listen to.
And I'm popping pills too. Just because I got on the syrup, I was still popping pills. I was popping X, sipping syrup, smoking weed, putting the syrup on my cigarettes. All my clothes had holes in them from burnt cigarettes, from the syrup dropping off the cigarette.
Boosie didn't just become a sipper, he turned into one of the biggest lean plugs in the whole South. The syrup scene had him locked in deep, and before long, he wasn't just drinking it, he was living it. The addiction grabbed hold tight and refused to let go. Boosie later admitted he spent over $2 million on lean during his habit. Yeah, $2 million. His fridge didn't just have food, it was overflowing with pints, stacked like trophies. But that lifestyle came with a brutal price. With his diabetes already putting stress on his body, mixing it with all that syrup had him in and out of the hospital nonstop. It got so bad, the hospital staff literally gave him his own room, like he was part of the furniture.
So basically, you were a junkie. I mean, you don't want to say it out loud, but what you're describing is a junkie. And that's okay, because you're over it now.
Yeah,
but you gotta.
I was fucked up.
The only thing that finally broke the addiction was the bid itself. Locked up at Angola.
And when I withdrawed in there, bro, throwing up, diarrhea, bro. Because, you know, syrup is heroin.
Yeah.
It's a liquid heroin.
Yeah, liquid heroin, yeah.
If you piss test for heroin and somebody piss tested who has syrup,
same thing.
It's gonna show up as the same thing.
Yeah.
Then came the hardest hit. Pimp C, the same legend who helped launch Boosie's career, passed away in 2007 from a codeine overdose. For most people, that would have been the wake-up call of a lifetime. But for Boosie, it pushed him even deeper. Instead of quitting, he poured up more, chasing that same feeling that was slowly destroying him. The depths of his addiction were unreal. Nobody in his circle could say a word. He was the boss, he was getting bread, and he thought he was untouchable. The fame, The money, the power, it all made him believe he couldn't be stopped. But the truth is, the addiction didn't just wreck his health, it tore through every part of his life. Boosie himself called it out, admitting straight up, I was a fiend. And the only thing that finally broke that cycle was his prison bid at Angola.
Nah, I don't want that feeling no more, you know. I don't want that feeling of withdrawal, you know. I just like the smile I got now to where, you know, I overcame it.
Locked away, cut off from everything, he had to face the withdrawals cold turkey, no lean, no escape, just 7 days of raw pain. He said it was the worst experience of his life, so rough that even years later, just remembering that agony keeps him far away from ever touching the stuff again. When Boosie finally touched down on March 5th, 2014, he was free, but flat broke. The years of legal chaos had cleaned him out completely. No money, no deals, no comfort, just survival. But the one thing he did have, life. He was out clean and more determined than ever to rebuild everything from scratch. But fate wasn't ready to give him peace yet. Even after beating the system, the bullets, and death row, Boosie's next battle wasn't with cops or courts, it was with his own body. Freedom should have been his new beginning, but instead, it became the start of another war.
Nah, before it was a Friday morning, and no, it was a Thursday morning. I was leaving out. I usually be booked from Thursday to Sunday. And before I leave every Thursday, I used to go get fluids so I don't get dehydrated. Go get me 2 bags of fluids and be dehydrated. So when I pull up to the hospital, I was like, man, my side hurt, man. My side hurt, and I was just kept getting woozy that whole morning. And I started throwing up, man. And, when I went to get my fluids, I told the doctor my side was hurting. I was like, man, give me an MRI. It's aching, man. I just want an MRI. And I went to the MRI. They came back, and they said, we found something on your kidney. It's a spot that's like 2.5 centimeters big. They said they'll have the test ready 2 hours. They came back, told me it was kidney cancer, renal cell carcinoma. And I told them, let's go back down there. It can be wrong. So we went back down there, got another test, got another specialist to come from Stockbridge. It was like it's cancer.
This time, a personal one. In November 2015, just as he was finally stacking up again with his music and business moves, Boosie got hit with the kind of news that shakes your soul, kidney cancer. He was only 33 years old, and the disease that had already taken multiple people in his family had now come for him too. The streets went silent when word spread. It was like life was testing him all over again.
I'm healthy though, as far as my health, I'm healthy because after cancer, I lost 42 pounds. I lost 42 pounds after my surgery. I got cancer, I had surgery in 2.5 weeks. When I had my surgery, I lost 42 pounds, man, fighting that cancer. You know, now I done gained 26, 27 back. 15 more pounds, I'm back like I was when I came home. So that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. And that was the hardest part of my cancer, man. You know, I had to learn to walk again after my cancer on my right kidney. I couldn't walk. I had to learn to walk again, man. It was hard going in that mirror, looking at my body and seeing my boneless structure, man. I used to cry, man. I used to be like, I punched the window. I used to be so mad because it took all my weight. You know, I saw a girl at the gas station and she didn't even notice me. I ain't even want to come outside. I just stayed in the studio, man. It affected me, you know. It affected me so bad, bro, because I was angry on how I was just looking off this cancer, man. Cancer is nothing to play with, man. After that, like every day I had a real trainer who trains professional athletes, and we started from curling 5s, man. Like, you know, like I used to have tears in my eyes when he worked me so hard, man. Shout out to my trainer Ronnie. He worked me so hard, man. I used to One time he worked me, I couldn't walk down the stairs, man.
When the results came back, the doctors dropped the words nobody ever wants to hear. Boosie didn't have time to break down. He went straight into fight mode. He checked into MD Anderson Cancer Center and dropped $87,000 cash up front. No health insurance, no help, just pure grit and hustle. The surgery saved his life, but the recovery, it was brutal. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. The pain was deep, but the mental toll hit even harder. He had already fought death once in court, but now he had to fight it again in his own body. And this time, the battle left scars you couldn't see. But Boosie wasn't built to quit. He fought back like a real soldier. After surgery and recovery, he hired a personal trainer, starting from scratch, curling 5-pound weights like a beginner and slowly rebuilding his strength day by day. He wasn't just getting his body right, he was reclaiming his life. By May 2023, after 8 long years of doctor visits and checkups, Boosie finally got to share the news everyone had been praying for. He was officially cancer-free. He had beaten death row and now cancer too. It felt like nothing else could possibly knock him down. But life had more trials waiting. On November 14th, 2020, his 38th birthday, Boosie caught a bullet in the leg outside Big T's Plaza in Dallas. He wasn't there for drama. He was attending a vigil for his friend Mo 3, who had been killed just days earlier. Suddenly, the sound of gunfire broke out, and Boosie was hit.
Bro, I get emotional when I talk about it. I done read that case 100 times, bro. Like, you know, they really took him away because who he was. I was gonna go down that bitch a hero. I was gonna be on every project wall in the motherfucking world, because I stayed silent. Yeah, I don't know nothing. Yeah. If y'all know all that, what the you need to talk to me for? I don't know nothing.
With his diabetes, doctors were worried he might lose the leg, and fans feared the worst. But this wasn't his first time hearing gunshots up close. Boosie himself has said he's been in multiple real shootouts where bullets flew past his head, missing him by inches. It's like death kept knocking, but he refused to open that door. Then in April 2025, Boosie got into a bad car crash in Atlanta that left him with chest pains that wouldn't quit. After getting checked out, doctors diagnosed him with left atrial enlargement, a heart condition that could trigger an irregular heartbeat or even a stroke. Through all of it, the bullets, the crashes, the hospital beds, the losses kept stacking up. He'd already buried his pops and too many loved ones to count, but Boosie still kept pushing, proving over and over that nothing could truly stop him. When Boosie was just 13, tragedy hit again. His older brother was killed in a car wreck, leaving another hole in his heart. The pain didn't stop there. His grandma passed away in late 2021, and just weeks later, his grandpops followed her. Then came more heartbreak. 2 uncles, 2 aunts, and countless close friends gone. The losses never seemed to end. Boosie once said he's lost over 110 people close to him, most of them taken by violence. That's more than some folks meet in a lifetime. It's the kind of pain that never really leaves. It just sits with you. He's been open about it too, talking about the mental battles, the PTSD, the sleepless nights, and how witnessing so much death since childhood has left scars that run deep. But even with all that, Boosie never turned to therapy or doctors. Instead, he does what he's always done, keeps pushing, carrying all that pain and pressure on his back and still showing up strong. Through it all, Boosie has never changed who he is or what he stands for. When asked about snitching, even when he was facing the needle, his answer stayed the same. He'd rather face death than turn on his people. That loyalty, that code, that toughness, it's what defines him to this day. Boosie's federal gun case from 2023 finally came to an end in January 2026. He got hit with time served, supervised release, community service, and a $50,000 fine. Once again, he dodged the worst and walked away standing tall. Every time the system tried to take him down, he found a way to rise back up. His story isn't just about fame or survival, it's a warning about what that street life really costs. The wins look flashy, but the pain runs deep. Yet through it all, Boosie stands as living proof of resilience, showing that no matter how many times life tries to break you, you can still keep pushing forward. But his journey also reminds us some battles don't ever really end, some scars never fade, and some fates, once set in motion, are nearly impossible to escape. If you're still watching, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more real stories like this one. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think about Boosie's wild journey. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay tuned, because we've got more untold stories coming your way.